hao, xin chào, whatever else your greeting of choice may be from the porch area of my home in Hai Phong, Vietnam. This is where I usually film the intros to my first run short reviews, which is kind of why I'm here right now, because this is the intro to my first run in these. The Li-Ning Feidian 5 Ultra. And I am so excited about these shoes that not only am I going to do a short, but I'm going to do a full length, albeit hopefully a shortish, full length video as I take these out on my first run. And that is going to be a long run straight out of the box. And I say going to be, I've actually already done it. You may notice I'm not dressed for it. I took them out last Sunday, a couple of days ago now, and in order to get my long run in, I got up pretty early. Everyone was still asleep, and so I didn't want to sit down here and start yapping away in case I disturbed them, and so I decided to do the intro after the run. So before I set off, I'll just go over a few of the things that I do know about this shoe, although as it's Li-Ning, I don't know everything. But what I can tell you is that while I don't know the exact stack height, it is certainly somewhere around about the max level. I think I saw somewhere saying it was over max legal stack. I don't know, that seems odd considering it's their premier race shoe. You would think they would want athletes to be able to race in it. So I'm just going to assume it's around about the 40 mil in the heel sort of stack height that you'd get in a sample size of a shoe like this. The midsole itself is comprised of boom. This is 100% their PIBA boom. While I have talked about this a little bit in the past, it is very clear that this is not the same boom that is in the Feidian 5 Challenger and the Red Hair 8 Pro. And I'm not saying that those two aren't PIBA, but if they are, they're a different grade or a different type of PIBA. This with those are sort of like a beaded foam like you would get in, say, the Saucony Endorphin Speed. Like this is my wife's one here. You can see those little beads in there. This is sort of more like a smooth, like sort of one-piece midsole like you would have got in the Vaporfly Next Percent 2. In fact, to the touch, it feels a lot similar to that. The upper is obviously boom fiber, because all Li-Ning uppers seem to be boom fiber. Although this one is a much finer and much thinner mesh than in the other shoes that I have. And that, along with these sort of crazy cutouts in the midsole, might contribute to its weight, which is 213 grams in an EU45. I think one shoe is 212 and one is 214 when I weighed them, which makes them the lightest shoe that I have ever owned. I think the Vaporfly were 235 or thereabouts in an EU46. I generally find there's about a 10 gram difference per size, so assuming that'll be 225 in an EU45, matching sizes, this would still be just over 10 grams lighter, which is kind of crazy. Obviously, it has a carbon plate, which I forgot to mention, and this CPU, GCU, whatever it's called, sort of plasticky outsole material rather than their rubber compound. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything there is to say. So I'm gonna get changed. I mean, obviously I'm not, because this is already done, but let's pretend it isn't, and I'm gonna go get changed and then head out and do my Sunday morning long run, where I'll tell you a little bit more about this, how it's performing, and then hopefully something's up at the end. All right, so the first kilometer or two out of the box left me feeling really quite worried about these shoes. They just did not feel natural at all. Like I almost felt as if I was hobbling for the first kilometer or so. It's kind of hard to describe the exact feeling, but it was like, for whatever reason, I just couldn't lock into my stride. Fortunately, we're about 4K in at the moment, and after, I guess, a brief adjustment period, if we can call it that, everything seems to have smoothened out, and by this point they're already feeling pretty normal. In terms of the ride, you can really feel that foam underfoot, which is far more reminiscent of the PIBA found in Zoom X on the old Vaporfly Next Percent 2 than any of the other PIBA shoes that I've run in since. I wouldn't say it feels quite as responsive and propulsive underfoot, but that should come with the caveat that I'm very much still in the middle of my warm-up, and I haven't tried to push the pace just yet. I guess I haven't said what the plan for this run is yet. So these shoes turned up on Friday, and I thought I would save them for today and my Sunday long run, which is this. The plan for today, according to my schedule, says 24 kilometers with some marathon tempo work. But the only reason it says 24 kilometers is because I have been struggling with long runs so far this year, as you may be aware if you've seen my video on running in the heat. And so I penciled in some more conservative efforts. Although in truth, it's not just the heat that's keeping me from long runs, the sort of scheduling and the family. I mean, it's not the family are keeping me, but I am keeping myself from doing them because I feel a bit bad going off on a Sunday morning and leaving Yom on her own with Felix, which I shouldn't, because I know I'd be really happy to spend 3 hours on my own with Felix, especially hanging around the house. It's fairly easy and it's entirely inside my own head, but there's just this, I don't know, I guess because Yom works 6 days a week, Sundays are only day off. When I used to go out for long runs in Shanghai, Grandma was living with us and Felix was far less of a handful. I know she doesn't mind, like why would she? But at the same time, my brain's just kind of like, you can't do that. Anyway, weird side ramble over, and today I happen to have got up pretty early. Would have got up earlier, but Fifi didn't let us sleep last night. And the weather is pretty cool and does not feel humid. So I'm optimistic that if the shoes live up to at least my expectations, I might be able to get a good 28 or heck, even 30 kilometers out of this run. We'll just have to see how it goes. All right, we're almost at 10k in, and that will be the first warm-up part of this long run. Once I hit that mark, I'm gonna try and do some marathon tempo reps. Thinking 4 times 4 kilometers would be great, but as with everything in this current training block, I'm just gonna set myself a pace or intensity and then just figure out the exact load as we go. So far, the shoes are feeling light, they're feeling bouncy, if not incredibly so. As I said before, I am still sort of plodding along quite slowly. Right, that's 4k around about marathon intensity. Just give me a second and I'll get off the main road. So shoes honestly didn't feel that much different once I started to pick up the pace. Like, they are clearly good shoes, but I wasn't feeling any magic. Certainly I haven't experienced anything yet that would justify the price tag. But again, this should come with the very sizable caveat that I got at most about 3 hours sleep last night. I am ill, got a bit of a cold. And even just getting in my easy-ish daily miles yesterday, my legs were really hurting for some reason. So I am a bit of a mess right now, and there is every chance that that is having an impact on how I am experiencing this run. Which again is not a bad experience, the shoes are good. All I'm saying is that they don't currently feel exceptional. Alright, 24k, so I didn't take it up to 28 in the end. Probably could do, to be honest. I don't feel crazy tired. I'm not panting, I'm not feeling like I want to die. Honestly, I wanted to get back home and see kiddo and the missus and then go and get some coffee. And I feel like I've put the shoe through its paces at the sort of speeds that I want to be going at. I've hit my 24k, I've done a decent amount of work. My watch says I've got 300 odd load, according to Chorus. I don't really want to push it too much further than that. This is still my longest long run in a while. And yeah, I'll probably go for a sort of second run tonight, just to shake out the bones. One last thing before I go that I want to say is I got back here after about 20k. Nobody was awake, which is a shame because I wanted to take Felix for a little plod around the block. And I figured, well, I'm still feeling fresh enough, which despite me not feeling well, the fact my legs still don't feel bad is probably a plus for the shoes. But anyway, wasn't feeling too bad. I thought I'll do some laps of the block. Like, do them at whatever feels like a comfortable, fun speed to go at and just see how many I want to do. I actually have no idea how many I've done. I should probably check the watch for that. I'll put it up on the screen because I'll have the workout data by then. But the loop is about 230 meters. And the first few I was going between 330 and 340 per kilometer pace, which is really good. I didn't really bother checking the time because I was just going off feel. So after the first two, I wasn't really checking my watch. But I did see my watch just before I pressed lap on one of the final reps, and it was like 320 something. So I was going at a decent clip. That for me is got to be sort of the slower reps will have been about 3k pace, and the faster reps will have been obviously faster than 3k pace. And I didn't really feel like I was putting any effort in. Well, I said there wasn't any magic in the shoes when I was going at marathon pace. They did feel really, really, really good when I was going fast. So like they felt light, they felt responsive. I honestly felt like I was just flying around. I didn't feel like I was having to work very hard. Sort of the feeling that I used to get doing speed reps in, say, the endorphin speed. Like your heart's telling you you're going fast, but your feet are telling you that it's effortless. So it might be a bit unfair to look at these shoes as just sort of marathon shoes, despite the massive chonk and the fact they have ultra in the name. And yeah, I will be testing them out at marathon tempo a little bit going forward, hopefully when I am not unwell and when I have slept. As for the fast stuff, I will probably take them out for a workout next week. And then if they do well in the workout, I have a 10K race scheduled next weekend where I am going to try and set a new PB. Although my 10K PB is the hardest one that I have, so that won't be easy. And yeah, I guess I can give you an update as to how they do, or you can just watch the 10K race video. Thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you next time out.